project for their Visual Basic .NET course, we've got our choice of programs. So for all the programs, they want you to write a couple of complex programs. In my course, I'm not requiring you to do 2. I'm going to require you to choose from among the 4 below. So it says, doing so will require you to use all the concepts presented in this course, from planning the project to fixing errors. You may also have to do some research on new codes to use. Make sure you follow all the rules found in the course overview unit. You will submit each of the following for each of the 2 projects. It says, i.e., you're essentially doing this project twice. And once again, I'm asking you to do it 1 time. Alright, I'm not asking my class to do the flowchart design, although with the first project, I present the flowchart with that. They say program code in Notepad document. For my class, if you do not have Visual Basic Express, of course you're going to code in Notepad, correct? Alright. Otherwise, you're going to code in Visual Basic Express. I don't need both. I need one. Obviously, if you're not doing a flowchart, I'm not requiring flowchart revisions. I don't particularly need to see your log of errors that you encounter when you're debugging the program. And since we've never required you to have a maintenance plan before, I'm not going to require it from you now. So what am I looking for? Basically your program, right? So you want to watch out that you include the following key features. You should have a command block at the top with key information. This is standard. If you do this all the time with program, you might as well get used to it. Okay, just put your personal information. What's this program going to do? Put it at the top. It says use single and multi-line comments. I don't care, however you go about writing your comments. It can be 1 line or several. It's up to you. Definitely use basic program fundamentals. Use exception handling and instructions that print for users' understanding of the program. Don't worry about instructions. Just give me the basics, okay, and give me the user handling. So that's what we're going to be covering. Okay, we have 2 of the 4 programs here, and in the first video I'm going to show you option 1, and in the second video I'm going to show you option 2. If option 1 says write a program to find the average grade, given 15 user inputted scores on tests, the program should also provide the following feedback according to the final score, A, B, C, D, or F. Okay, with option 1, I did it with a console program. In this particular class, I'm not showing you how to do option 3 or 4. Okay? Okay, starting out with this first project, I roughed out a flowchart using Word. And this is my basic idea of how to approach this. Now, of course, this is oversimplified. Obviously, if I've got a student ID and a name and a couple grades, I've got a student class. And obviously, I'm going to be using an array because that's just the easiest way to do it. You can do it with layered ifs if you wanted to, if you didn't want to use an array, but that would be way too complicated. I think an array is the easiest way to approach this. Student class and an array. Okay, so what we want to do is average the scores. That's a process, okay? So we'll just have 2 scores divided by 2, and that'll give us an average. That part is easy. But we do have to have 15 students, so that's where the array is going to be. It's going to be in the students. Then you just do if-else statements. You could also do this with cases. So I've just done it with else statement, and then the final case, if it fails all of these, we failed, and basically that's the end of the program. If you were going to make a flowchart for this, it will look something like this. You'd probably use Visio because it's much easier to build it Visio. What I did was I went to the insert menu and I did shapes, and in shapes you have flowchart for pieces, and you can just right click the piece and then click edit and write something in there. It still looks kind of clunky. You can get a much better looking result with Visio, and it's much easier to produce. You're not in a position to buy it, obviously. So now what I'm going to do, I built a basic console project. My other one, I'm going to use a Windows project just to give you a little variety. But this is a console, so if you only have the notepad, this would be the project you would do. I have to import my systems. Then obviously we start off with our module 1. Let's declare a class and call it student. In our class we needed an ID, right? So we have a public declaration here, so I'm going to call ID as an integer. Let's have the student's name as a string. Okay, let's have the first grade you're going to enter as M1 as an integer. Okay, let's put in the second grade you're going to enter as M2. Alright, now we're going to declare an object student as a string. So now we need to put in our function here. Remember we said that you wanted to get the average, so we're going to call our function as average, and we'll have a double here because it's a division problem. You could have two integers conceivably give you a double as a result. So now we're going to end the function. There's the end of the class. Do our main declaration here, and we'll have strings as an argument because that's what we're going to produce. So now we're going to declare the object student as, we have a student class defined up here, so we can use student. And we're going to put in here our declaration that we want an array of 15 students, which is 0 to 14, right? Because 0 is a student. We're going to declare S as student. Now we're going to have the user enter the student name. We're going to have the user enter the student ID. Have them enter the first mark and the second mark. We're going to convert the IDs to integer 32s to avoid any problems with how the user decides to enter information. This is also where you could put your try-catch, okay? You could try to see if something is not what it needs to be and throw an error at the user if they do that. I could put my try-catch declaration right in here. I could look for something not being a number. I could put something generic in there that would throw out to the user whatever error they committed. Whether it be writing a number for a letter where they're supposed to be putting in a string, or vice versa. You name it. You could put something in there that'd be a good place for your try-catch. We've got all the things entered, so next thing we need to do is we need to compute the average. We're asking for the user to put these in. Now we let the computer go to work. So for each of these students, we're going to go through the grades. Is it greater than a 90, greater than or equal to 90, then it's an A, greater than or equal to 80, then it's a B. So we'll put that in. We'll put that code in. Let's try it. Oh, okay. It's working. 1 Joe. First grade, we'll put in 75. Second grade, he got an 85. Joe's grade got a B. I produced an error. So here's my exception. So there we go. I fixed it. Let me try it again. Joe. 75. 85. Here comes the second student. There we go. That's right. Student's name. Mike. Okay, he got a 98 and an 89. Next we'll have Juanita. Oh, see, that's why you need that try catch. I was going to put her name in there. I need to have her ID, don't I? 7. Her first mark is 80. The second mark is a 70. Student ID is 8. This is Philip. First mark is 60. That second mark is 50. Student ID is 12. We're almost there, guys. So you see, I entered the wrong thing. I entered for a student ID, I entered the student name. So obviously you want to put in some kind of an error code to catch that. So where am I going to put it? I'm going to put over right here, right after the dim S as a student. Put my try in here. Well, actually, let me put it up here. Okay, so I'm going to cut them, Control X. And I'm going to put them after the object student equals XS. Okay. So I caught the exception. Then I'm going to write in here console write line. And then I'll have whatever the exception message is, I'll just have it write it out. There you go. That's how you do it. I've interrupted it at the wrong point, so I think I have to put it after the next. There we go. Let's try it now. So I'll do one right. And I'll do one wrong. So input string was not in a correct format. So that was the error, that what you needed in that particular format. There's your error code. So you're all ready with project 1. Before we end this program, I wanted to make sure that you could see everything I have written. So I'm going to, you can pause this on the screen and check out, this is the first part of the program. And this is the second part of the program. So you should be able to see everything. And I hope you enjoyed the project. See you in class.